Rao ji asks, can you give quick
Ah,
examples of each of this yogas?
yeah. Karma Yoga is where you take up a higher ideal and work towards that. That is Karma Yoga.
Mhm.
Now, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, we can't give external examples because the moment if I say Bhakti to be, for example, Bhakti Yoga, if I say going to temple, Karma Yoga means performing rituals, Jnana Yoga means studying. It doesn't, because it is not only the action that makes it Karma Yoga, please, makes it Bhakti, makes it Jnanam, please. It is your action coupled with a particular attitude. See, so unless we are sure about that attitude behind that action, it is difficult for us to define. But generally, we can say Karma Yoga, all unselfish actions can be classified, can be potentially classified in the category of Karma Yoga. All unselfish actions, including a person who just jumps out in the traffic to clear. There's a jam. Suddenly you find he's not a traffic constable or anyone, but one fellow comes in and invariably people scold him. You see, he's saying, hey, you wait, man, you move this side, you move that side. He is helping us to clear the traffic so that the movement can happen. That's an unselfish action. See, that can be potentially Karma Yoga. But you can't say just that is Karma Yoga, because if I say that is Karma Yoga, you will start searching for traffic jam everywhere. So to practice Karma Yoga, first requirement is what? That's where you will land up. That's why you don't give much of examples. I just give principle and move out for these things, because it is attitude plus proper action. So since it is coupled with these two things, we can't give a direct example. But when you are doing it, you will know whether this person is doing it with Karma Yoga attitude or he is just performing it as with an unselfish desire propelling an action. You see, unselfish desire also can propel a fellow to do the same thing. But then you have to convert that into Karma Yoga. Only then it can be.
Next
People
question.
must have.
May I moderate? Or you will read out the questions and answers?
Just see, because I could see that actually. It's good.
Okay, Ishwaranji, please continue.
Yeah, I have this one in the chat. They have this.
Yes.
Is it good or bad? I don't know whether he is referring to the good action or bad action. Right.
This was actually related to the actionlessness when you were mentioning.
Oh, actionlessness.
Yes.
The actionlessness is a state of perfection, means vasanalessness, where you are merged with the divinity. So that's, in fact, if at all you want to say anything good in the world, only that can be called as good. See, nothing else can be strictly speaking as good. The state of actionlessness is, if you want to do good to the world, what do you have to do, sir? Shut up and keep quiet. Greatest service. But it's not easy, I tell you. It needs to practice this Karma Yoga, Bhakti, Jnanam and all that needs to be practiced to reach that state. Is taking and giving for humanity is okay? Like in the case of professionals who are paid as per market conditions and their capacity to demand. Yeah, that is your survival. You see, now you have to do actions in the world, for you to have. Or else you will call me and say, Ishwaran, you pay. I can't take care of you, please. Each one have their own. See, every one of us have got a skill, right? You employ that skill to produce, to contribute. That contribution will produce any result. That's what I said initially. Karma will produce result. That result has two aspects. One is external result, another is internal result. That external result is directly connected to the demand and your capacity. Like imagine today one fellow were to send an application to the company that I am a software professional, sir. Okay, what language you know? He says, I'm expert in COBOL. Now, where are we using COBOL today? Now, today we are talking about Java, C++, and Python and all those things. Suddenly this person comes and says that I am an expert in COBOL. If he says, what is the market value for that capacity today? You see, so the market will pay only according to the requirement of that plus your expertise. But that has got nothing to do with Karma Yoga, please. That is to do with you producing result in the external world. Every action of yours will produce a result. It will have an effect. That effect can be termed success or failure depending upon palatability. If the result is palatable to me, I will call it as success. If the result is not palatable to me, I will call it as failure. That's about it. So that is, there's nothing, wrong. It's all transactional. But in and through the transaction has two aspects. One is me giving and me taking. Where is my focus? My focus is on me giving more, or my focus is on me taking more. First, give me a guarantee of the returns, and then I will start my contribution. You see, that is where this problem starts. Then you refine it further. A point should come where your entire concentration is purely on giving. I'm not interested in taking. That doesn't mean nothing will be returned to you. For any action, there is an equivalent and opposite reaction. So for any contribution of yours to the world has no choice but to reciprocate. Helplessly, it has to reciprocate. That's a law of life. You can't change, I can't change. So trusting on the law, I don't pay attention to this. This is what we call as do your duty, don't worry about the result. Why? Anyway, for the quality of my action, there will be result. Nothing can be done. You see? Now, why pay attention to the result, man? Pay attention to the thing. That's what it means here. The three paths you mentioned has to work in combination. But is there any order or sequence to this? Now, there is an order. And this karma, bhakti, jnanam needs to be practiced simultaneously. And in a sequence also it has to be practiced. The sequence is this. Extroverted and introverted is there. Follow me very carefully. Whoever has asked that question, follow that. The idea is this. Three equipments you have. Body is there, mind is there, intellect is there. You have to use all the three equipments. Depending upon the quantum of desires you have, you are classified into two sections, extrovert, introvert. Therefore, if you are an extroverted person, you will practice karma yoga in a particular way, bhakti yoga in a particular way, jnana yoga in a particular way. If you are an introverted person, you practice karma yoga in a particular way, bhakti yoga in a particular way, jnana yoga in a particular way. So essentially, first thing we need to do is that division. That's what Krishna gives in the third chapter first. First he says, what are you asking, Arjuna? I have already told you this, he says. He's already been told. I don't know when he's told, but he says that in the Gita. It's been already told. what he is referring to is it has been already told in the Upanishads. You see, the Upanishadic masters have already given this. Now you are asking me to repeat the same thing. Doesn't matter, I will repeat, he says. What is that, sir? Humanity is classified into two broad sections, extrovert, introvert. Then extroverted person will practice karma bhakti jnanam in a particular way. Introverted person will practice karma bhakti jnanam in a particular way. Generally, whenever we use the word karma yoga, we refer to extroverted practice of karma bhakti jnanam. Okay. The orthodox people, when they study, for them, when they say karma, what they are referring to is extroverted practice of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Then comes introverted practice of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. This is little more technical analysis, little more detailed study when you go. But essentially, when you are start with idea that karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, all three you need to practice together. Sequence we can see next. First, understand it has to be done simultaneous. Then sequence. Exactly like cooking here, that's all. In the house, there is a sequence of cooking. At the same time, there is a simultaneous things also no in cooking. In eating lunch, there is a sequence. Also, there is simultaneous, isn't it? Rice, sambar, sabji, vada, simultaneously you have. Also, you have a sequence. What is the sequence? Sambar, rasam, curd. Sequence, no? Both are there, isn't it? Similarly, spiritual practice also you have simultaneous, also sequential. Simultaneous from the angle of karma bhakti jnanam, sequential in the angle of extroverted, introverted. In real world, positive action with positive desires, achievement, motivation, and achieving goals of productivity, do we reduce or balance? This has got nothing to do with karma yoga. There's no connection. We unnecessarily connect it because our problem is the moment I come to spiritual, immediately we think it means I should become unproductive in the world. If I have to succeed in spiritual, no. Remember, karma yoga means, that's why he gives two things for yoga. He says, samatvam yoga uchyate. 2 verses later, he says, yoga karma sukha. Samatvam means what? Equanimity, peace. Peace is yoga, man. Yeah. And then, oh, fantastic, I'll be peaceful. And suddenly he says, yoga karma sukha means dexterity in action, dynamism in action is called yoga. So what is he saying? Karma yoga means the technique through which you are dynamic at the physical level, action level, and peaceful at the mental level. Your mind should be at rest while your body is engaged in dynamic action. That is karma yoga. Now, how can that fellow not be productive? He will be productive effortlessly. If you have to be productive, it has to be with much effort. In karma yoga technique, what is it, sir? Is reach to success effortless. Do you want that? Or you want with so much of striving and straining, with much strain, you want to reach? That is a relevant question to ask. Vedanta's method is, I'll give you a technique through which you can achieve all this externally in the world. You can be very dynamic and productive. at the same time peaceful. That is Karma Yoga principle. To achieve self-realization, do we need to practice Karma Yoga, Karma, Bhakti, Jnana Yoga simultaneously? If so, why is Karma Yoga for extroverted and Jnana Yoga for introverted? Why is it has to be done, all three? Extroverted person, Karma Yoga we give. Why? Because the pressure of desires will force him to do action. When you have a lot of desires, you cannot keep quiet. The desires will not allow you to be quiet. It will force you to action. When you are not having much desires, you can afford to sit back. You can be quiet. So the technique employment, what he has to do is different. What he has to do is different. So that's why there are two different aspects being given. Prasada Buddhi is connected to 6 techniques. Explain. See, Prasada Buddhi is not connected to the 6 points. Prasada Buddhi is connected to the consequence, whatever you get after doing all this. I have practiced. What is it, sir? I have plugged the unproductive things. What is it, sir? No, worry, no anxiety, no excitement, all that. And I am committed to a higher ideal. And my mind is also tuned to that ideal. It's not having any conflicting thoughts. Desires being entertained to nullify the inspiration from the ideal. And I have slogged and worked to get. I have done all this. Whatever result comes, no matter what, I take it as the prasad of the Lord, not because of my effort. That comes as after the practice of the 6 points. Without the practice of the 6 points, if a fellow says, I am taking it as a prasad, he is just passively reconciling to the results. It's a passive reconciliation. It is more of a passivity rather than a true understanding with which we are taking that stand of prasada buddhi. You see, so in the Karma Yoga technique, when you are performing action, you perform as though you control everything. But when you take a position of an enjoyer, then prasada buddhi comes. You are a doer and an enjoyer, what we call as karmi and bhogi. When it comes to performance of action, you are a karmi. When it comes to the consequence, what are you, sir? You are a bhogi, you are an enjoyer. So with reference to a karma yoga, when you are performing action only, you are talking about karma yoga. Right? Our problem is, while performing karma itself, we want the guarantee and the surety of the result, which is not going to be enjoyed by you as karmi. That is going to be done by you as a bhogi only. So the consequence when you are receiving, you are a enjoyer. Enjoyer's attitude is what? Prasada buddhi. As a karma yoga person, what? Exactly like I am the same person. When I see my mother, different attitude I have. When I see my daughter, different attitude I have. The way I look at my daughter is different. The way I look at my mother is different. But the person Ishwaran is same. Similarly, with reference to action, 6 principles. You take as though, you perform action as though everything is dependent only on you. When it comes to the consequence receiver, you take a stand, nothing is in my hands. Our problem is, when you are performing action, we take that stand. You see, and when you are receiving the consequence, we take a stand, I am responsible. That's where confusion is. That's where Vedanta teaches these 2 aspects. It says, you are this rule. When you are that rule. Don't mix it up. There is so there is a request. Yeah, can we have sequential sessions to understand the three parts? That would be great. I prefer that actually, so that we can touch the different dimensions in that sequence. The next two sessions. Then we have to understand one more thing. Karma, bhakti, jnanam is there. After that, you have one more yoga called dhyana yoga. You see, that also we need to understand. You see, and then individually we understand this, and then finally I will have one session. I would prefer to have a comprehensive understanding of all this entire spiritual path in one order. So ideally we should be having 5 sessions for that. I don't know. Rtambhara has to decide that. You see, I can't decide that. But my recommendation is that, karma one day, bhakti one day, jnanam one day, and then dhyanam one day. And then we understand where each one of them fit in. Then you have a comprehensive idea about spiritual path. See, I think I've covered all the questions.
Yes.
I think so. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Premji.
Is there anything else if anybody wants to ask? No. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ishwaranji, for this wonderful session on principle and practice of Karma Yoga. Yes, we definitely look forward for the Bhakti, Jnana and Dhyana Yoga sessions as well. We will definitely schedule and we'll plan it out accordingly. Thank you so much. I will be announcing the upcoming programs. Before that, thank you to all our participants and distinguished guests for their valuable presence this evening. Please join us for our upcoming programs. Sunday, 20th September, we have a yoga program by Umesh Dhagat ji, starting from 7 a.m. onwards. It's based on boosting your immunity. And upcoming Friday, 25th September, we have Shri Raghu Ganapati ji speaking to us on worry or not to worry. So please block your dates for the upcoming webinars. Thank you once again, everyone, for your presence and participation today. Thank you so much. Namaste.